Hey everybody, it's Corey again here at Netta's Nursery in Posen, and I'm in Greenhouse 2. And today is Dahlia Day. I want to introduce you to those dahlias that we have because they're blooming and look really fantastic right now, this minute. But I also want to give you an update. I got a message from Eli, he's the 7-year-old gardener who we talked about, or I introduced you in the last video. He says, thank you for all the great comments you left on the last video. He was thrilled with all the good words and everything that everybody left him. But he also has another tip for you all that it's a little garden secret that he was going to let you in on. Eli's big tip is calibrachoas seem to be very popular right now. So if you're in the garden, I have to agree with him. Calibrachoas, also known as super bells, million bells, mini famous, and there's a couple other names that they give them. Those are those little tiny, they look like mini petunias. Well, they come in all different colors and they're easy to grow, so that's Eli's big tip. So I wanted to pass that on. If you haven't watched the video on the osteos and Mother's Day information, go back. You'll hear exactly what Eli had to say about another type of plant that we dealt with. But that's Eli's big tip. So he's our 7-year-old gardener who is full of information, so we're going to be relying on him for more tips, I think, in the future. Anyway, let me get you into the dahlias here. They are looking really fantastic right now. So let's switch over. Okay, so in the dahlia department, look at this one right here. Now, I'm going to have to look at the names on some of these because I don't remember them all, but this one is Tabasco, and this one is a nice dark red, and then it has these kind of yellow stripes in it. Just kind of a really nice variation, and these are the extra large variety, so they have nice strong stems and they fill out really nice. The next one I'm going to show you, I think this is the Carolina, or is it the Durango? This is the Dahlia Montana. It's Montana. Sorry, I can't see the tags right now. Yeah, it is the Montana. So this is a shorter variety, a little bit more compact. But you can see that the flowers are really all kind of popped in there really nice and tight. So it's a really beautiful one. Notice how it kind of has a ball of petals in there. Next to it over here, that one I think is Baja Sol. I'm going to have to look at a tag just to make sure I get it right. Yep, Baja Sol. Sorry, I'm reading and doing that. This one is yellow, but then look at the little perimeter of those petals. The rim has a little bit of a red in there, and it's really a nice one, and that's also in the extra large series. So here's another one a little bit bigger, and then you can see now there is sometimes some variation in the flowers. So you can see this one here, very yellow, a little bit more red inside, whereas this one, same variety, a little bit more of the orange red in there. So it's really fantastic. Now this one here, Ensenada, we've got buds, but we don't have flowers yet. It's a pink one, so it's really a great one. This one here is the Durango. So this is a yellow one, but it's the taller, larger variation on that. So really nice dahlia. Now dahlias have a bad reputation with some people. They call them the diva of the garden because they think they're hard to grow. But in reality, if you watch out for just a few things, you're going to find that dahlias aren't hard at all. So this is another Dahlia Nova. This is another one of the smaller ones, and this is the Carolina Orange. And it is a very red orange. It is not, your kind of classic sun orange. You'll notice the Dahlia Novas have more of the center, whereas the other ones are filled in a little bit more. Over here we have the Taxco. They're getting ready to bloom, but they're not quite there yet. So we'll be having probably some of those blooming this weekend for Mother's Day. Over here I have the Sunset, and these are just starting to open. Pink edges, yellow inside, really beautiful flowers. This one over here looks like it's pretty open. And there's another one on that same plant over here. So you can see the nice thing about these is that they do have nice stems. They're holding up really well. With dahlias, they're kind of known where people get frustrated with them because they can start to slump and you have to stake them every once in a while. This variety we usually don't have to stake, although if they get hit with a lot of wind or something, you might decide to just protect them a little bit more. So that's one thing you have to watch out for with dahlias. That'll make them a lot easier to grow. Oh, whoa, look at this one. This one is huge. So if you look at my hand, and these flowers are going to probably be a little bigger as the season goes on and they get a little more heat and sun. Look at the red ones here. The red ones are the Cancun. It's kind of got that Mackinac Island red. You see a lot of red on flowers in Mackinac Island. This would be one of those. I think you'd probably, it would feel right at home at the Grand Hotel. So you're looking at that. Let's see. And look at how many blooms each plant's get. And these have been trimmed at least twice, just because we're trying to keep them tamed. And that's the other thing with dahlias, is that they don't like a lot of moisture. Like, you've got to make sure there's a lot of airflow in there, because those bottom leaves can start to get a little mold or mildew, or they get a little slimy, and that's just not good for them. So we usually kind of keep them cleared out. Now, when they're in the garden, they do a little better, because your airflow tends to be a lot better outdoors than they are inside the greenhouse. But we always have to make sure our dahlias in the greenhouse are close to a fan or air movement. Now, this one here is just starting. I wonder if you can see it better on this. There you go. So that one, I gotta remember the name, that's Veracruz. So it has more of the pink edge with a white center, and it's just starting to open. So we're gonna see some really good color coming off of that soon. We don't have very many of this color left. People have been jumping on this one. And then I'm gonna go down. This is a very different type of dahlia from the others. This one's called the Mystic Illusion. So the first thing you're gonna notice, it has these almost black leaves. Now, there are other dahlias with dark leaves, but the Mystic Illusion is really known for those dark leaves, and it tends to get more like a bush, and it gets these incredible yellow flowers, and they're kind of that perfect shape to them again and again and again. I can look at every single one of these, and all of them, you know, have that really good shape. That's a little bit more spent flower. It's almost at its end, and those tend to just lose their petals, and you don't have to worry about them. You can clean them up. All dahlias, well, the other dahlias too, you're going to want to get some of the dead ones off, but these tend to self deadhead a little bit, but it doesn't hurt to clean them up. And this one, you can plant it out in the yard, or you could put it in pots. But if you're going to put it in a pot, make sure you've got a lot of room for it, because the Mystic Illusion gets huge, and it is kind of like a bush. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about that one. And then right next door, I'm going to take you over here to the sunflowers. So this isn't your garden variety sunflower where you get one stalk and maybe one flower off of it. It is a Helianthus, so it is a true sunflower, but it is a reblooming multi-stem sunflower. So on one plant, I'm going to give you an idea of what the plants kind of look like. You're going to get a bunch of flowers on it, and they're going to have that true sunflower look. They make a really good cut flower, as do the dahlias. And they're just going to keep blooming all season. And they go right till frost. So you just get them again and again and again. Let's see if I can get you into this one. So the Helianthus, this one's called the Suncredible. So it's really a nice one. I'm going to go walk back through the dahlias just so you can kind of enjoy them again, starting with the Mystic Illusions. I mean, look at the shape on those. Now this one's a little easier to see. And then we have the extra large dahlia with the strong stems. And then a little other more color on this one. Again, we have a couple varieties that they were blooming earlier and we trimmed them back. And then these are the smaller. We only have the two colors left. We sold out of the red, but we have the orange and the yellow in the smaller size, which is the Dahlia Nova. This one's the Durango, though. This is one of the bigger ones. And then, again, the kind of flame pattern on those petals is just fantastic. And then, of course, we're going to go back to Tabasco, because you can't help but love the pattern on that one. So there we go on that. I'll go back to the Helianthus. Helianthus is another one too. Like all your other annuals, you tend to like to give them a little bit of like liquid fertilizer, either a full dose every 2 weeks or a half dose every week. That keeps them growing. With the Suncredibles, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can just give them some time-release fertilizer at the beginning of the season, midway through. They don't really need as much fertilizer as some of the other plants do. While I'm here, I might as well show you some of the differences between the salvias that we have. So this is the Misty, and the Misty is kind of more of a bush-like. It's got thicker leaves, larger leaves, very dense plant for the most part. It's a companion to what we had it before. It was the Mystic Spire, but that one just got so huge that it was almost too large for pots and that type of thing. So we switched and we just stuck with the Misty, but we then added a couple other varieties which are looking fantastic. This is a new one for us. This one here is a very light kind of purple. It's the Salvia Cathedral Sky Blue. So it's a really pale, looks very lavender-like. And then we have it right next to the white. And the white's looking really nice as well. You're gonna see it's, you know, even the little buds have color, and then the petals come out, and those have even, you know, they're even bigger and more so. And then we have the Cathedral Blue, and so that's your kind of traditional blue salvia in there. This is a nice one, and you can see the difference in the leaves. So this kind of has a narrow leaf, whereas I come over to the Misty, and it has more of that kind of aspen-shaped leaf. It's a little difference there. But then we have some the other types where we have like the red, and that's Grandstand Red and Grandstand Purple. So the Grandstand series, well, all the salvias do kind of drop their flowers a little bit. The Grandstand have bigger petals, so they kind of are a little bit more noticeable when it comes to the petal dropping. So sometimes it's good to get those cleaned up whenever you get a chance. But that's where we're at with those. Let's see, we've got some grasses over there. We've got our pots up above, which are looking really good for Mother's Day. We do have some of those online. So there you go. I will say we did get some of our Mandevilla in. And, oh, I should show you. You're gonna love this one, so I'm gonna just bring it out, but I'm gonna have to go for a little walk to get there. So let me come out here. Where did he go? There he is. We have the good old Patio Pineapple for you, and I'm gonna show you him. This is in a 9-inch pot. We have them in the online store, so if you'd like a Patio Pineapple, this is something that you can grow right on the deck for the whole season, and it's gonna eventually get a little bigger. You're gonna get some fruit off of it, which is nice. You'll get one pineapple. Some people have had really good luck and it's gotten pretty big. Others it's been a little smaller, but they all said that they're very sweet and delicious. I'll walk past the begonias here. So there you have it with the Patio Pineapple. So if you want one of those, we only have like 8. So whoever gets online first is going to be able to get those. They don't like a lot of water, so you got to watch out for that. Don't overwater your the pineapple. And then but it doesn't like its leaves to get all dry either. So sometimes you just kind of spritz it with a little water. It gets most of its nutrients through the leaves too. So if you're using a liquid fertilizer like into your water, you can spray a little bit on the leaves. It'll take those nutrients in that way. So, but it's pretty low maintenance, the pineapple, as long as you don't get it wet. Doesn't like wet feet. So again, I want to show you some of the dahlias that are in fantastic bloom right now. Perfect for Mother's Day, I'd say. Just remember, dahlias are sensitive to the cold, the really cold temperatures. They're fine outside like during the day here, but they wouldn't like to spend a really cold, freezing night out there. And that's the case with most annuals. Most of them don't like it below, say, 45 degrees. Some of them are even more sensitive than that. So there you go, folks. That is the Dahlia tour with a couple extra things thrown in for good measure. I want to thank everybody for kind of watching the videos, and I thank you for your comments. And remember, Levi says calibrachoas are the place to go. So I think in an upcoming video we're going to have to talk about those, aren't we? So, and I said Levi, didn't I? I meant to say Eli. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Thanks, everybody.